Spring 2008. With the Messiaen centenary celebrations at London's Southbank Centre well underway, the festival turns its focus to the composer's work for the organ. Messiaen had a deep-rooted Catholic faith, which permeated much of his work. This unshakable belief, combined with the composer's position as organist at Paris's La Trinité Church for over 60 years, has provided a diverse and lasting canon of work, all of which finds a place within the festival, with organ recitals taking place in churches across London. Another important focus of the festival is on opening up the music of Messiaen to a wider audience, including a group of animators from Kingston University who have used the composer's work as a starting point for their own artistic endeavours in a project with the London Sinfonietta.
The idea has been to do a collaboration with our third-year students where we either work with the Sinfonietta players or work with a young composer and find some way of integrating our animation with a live performance of some kind. And this year we worked with some Sinfonietta players as part of the Messiaen Festival. I was surprised at how big Messiaen is. Not in relation to, I don't think he should be, but I hadn't realised what a major figure he obviously has been.
I've never ever met any other musician. Also from an illustrator's point of view, their facial expressions and that was also amazing for me, not only their music, but I've never seen them perform live.
Well, we basically just started with the idea of synesthesia, the condition of experiencing different senses from different stimuli. You hear certain sounds, you see certain colours, which is something that Messiaen was affected by. We basically just concentrated on that as our inspiration.
Synesthesia. How these sounds how these actions might sound to each other. So it's more about speaking, clapping and stamping and just kind of making sounds with your body and how those might appear.
Also heavily involved in the festival is the Royal Academy of Music, who, as well as putting on events themselves throughout the festival, have also worked with the festival organisers to offer Academy students the chance to perform Messiaen's work.
Well, it's a great honour to be chosen to be part of this huge festival and celebration of Messiaen's music. I got the chance to go to a lot of the other concerts. I think particularly watching Pierre Laurent Aimard play the 20 Contemplations early in the year, that was an amazing experience.
The Livre d'Orgue, which I performed at the Messiaen Festival, is not the very first experience of my encounters with Messiaen music. The general experience is when somebody, even non-musical, listens to his music, is something, it's so mystic. Then you find out that there is some system used. So I was gradually approaching to this mode system and these rhythmic systems of all this that are creating his musical language.
Another piece I've played by Messiaen is a piece called Cantia Jaya, which is from the 1950s, from a period when Messiaen wasn't quite sure where he'd take his language. He'd just completed big works like the Tarangalila, and he was yet to find his inspiration in birdsong. On the piece, it was very, very tricky to work on because it has lots of these birdsong cadenzas in the middle of it, which are very virtuosic, and they take the song of the garden warbler, which Messiaen loved, and it's a very virtuosic and improvisatory bird, whose song just goes on and on and on, and never repeats itself because it's such a creative bird. And so I was very keen to get involved in some way, and I was very fortunate that they selected me to take part in one of the major concerts of the first half of the festival.
I'm lucky to be in Royal Academy of Music, and lucky to, because of that, I'm featuring in the Messiaen Festival.
As well as offering talented students the opportunity to participate, the festival also plays host to some of the most accomplished and recognised organists in some stunning locations across London, including Jennifer Bate at Westminster Cathedral and James O'Donnell at Westminster Abbey.
Well, we're standing here in Westminster Abbey, which is one of the great churches of London, indeed the world, and I'm delighted that we will be hosting three of the events in this Messiaen celebration this year. And the two concerts, the first of which is Gillian Weir on the 15th of July, and the second is my own the following Tuesday, the 22nd of July, will focus very much on Messiaen. But I think we can offer an added ingredient here, being the Abbey, which is the building. That might seem obvious, but I think if there was one composer who was incredibly sensitive to his setting and inspired by different settings, not just architecturally, particularly in churches, but also the natural world. Think of the Canyons to the Stars and works like that, where he was incredibly inspired by the physical attributes of his surroundings. And I think Westminster Abbey and St Paul's Cathedral, Westminster Cathedral and the Oratory, which are the four chief venues for the organ music element of this festival, will give a great added something to that music. And what is that something? I think when you walk into a church which has just been used for a service, there is an atmosphere there which you cannot get in a concert hall, and which certainly, I think, adds a great deal to the appreciation of Messiaen's organ music, almost all of which was inspired by his deep and profound Catholic faith.
His final work that I'm playing at Westminster Cathedral, where I premiered it with him there. The descent from the organ loft down to the nave is very long, 100 and something steps. And I thought, oh good gracious, you know, full evening dress, got to trot down there. And as I started down, the enormous applause, it was like a wall of sound. And I thought, I don't think I've got to hurry. So I picked my way down the steps. And as I entered the nave and walked row by row, like a bride up the middle aisle, row by row people stood. And the only person seated in the cathedral was Olivier Messiaen.
With concerts, talks and festival events all over London, 2008 continues to be dominated by the unmistakable sounds of Olivier Messiaen.